Hey everyone, my name is Fallout, and I'm here today to talk to you about the Deviation weapon attribute in Monster Hunter World. Lately I've been using the Heavy Bowgun and have been growing more and more curious about what exactly Deviation is. So I did a little weapon testing with varying levels of Deviation mods to get a good visual representation of how exactly the Deviation Suppressor Mod can affect your bowgun. Alright, got some footage here for you. On the far left we have a Heavy Bowgun without any mods at all. In the middle we have a bowgun with one Deviation Suppressor Mod attached, and on the right we have that same bowgun with two Deviation Suppressor Mods attached, and for the record the ammo type for each test here is normal ammo 2 because that's what I had on me at the time. As you can probably see, the more Deviation Suppressors we have attached to our bowgun, the less the reticle will kick up after every shot, with the ×2 mod truly having zero kick at all with every shot, as mentioned on the mod text at the workshop. So an easy way to think of Deviation in the context of Monster Hunter World is visual reticle recoil. Now I say visual recoil because there's already a Recoil Suppressor Mod in the game, and right about now you might be wondering how it's different from Deviation. Good question. The short answer is Deviation is more tied to the steadiness of your reticle on the HUD, and recoil is more tied to the physical weapon knockback on your bowgun. I'll explain. First off, go ahead and take a look at this chart from the workshop. It's important to note that every ammo type in this game that you can use with the bowgun has its own level of recoil on a numeric scale from 1 to 4. The higher the number of recoil, the more intense the knockback you'll experience when firing your bowgun. For example, recovery ammo, as we can see right here, has a high amount of numeric recoil, and when you fire it, you're going to stumble backwards with every shot. With a lower numeric recoil, like a 1 or a 2, you can comfortably move and shoot at the same time without stumbling backwards due to a heavy bowgun kick. So, part 1 of what the Recoil Suppressor Mod does is that it helps you alleviate that weapon knockback. Unfortunately, it's not as easy as you'd hope. Adding one Recoil Suppressor Mod to your gun does not take your numeric recoil from like a +4 down to a +3, for example. At the very least, the game does tell you though how much your ammo recoil is being lowered with every recoil mod that you add on to your bowgun. Having your ammo lowered from a +3 to a +2 recoil is really the key that you're kind of looking for, as that'll take you from getting knocked back with every shot to being able to walk around and shoot without breaking stride. Okay, part 2 of what recoil mods bring to the table is that they can help improve your rate of fire and therefore your DPS. With extra recoil control, remember, recoil being the physical kickback on your bowgun, your gun will now be able to fire slightly faster because you're not slowing yourself down with every shot due to the kickback. It's worth pointing out that the increased rate of fire isn't huge per se, but it is there, so it is worth pointing out. Finally, part 3 of what the recoil mods do for you is they also reduce the level that your reticle gets kicked up overall in the same way that the Deviation mod does. Obviously though, it's nowhere near as effective at keeping your reticle stable the way that the Deviation mod can. But that's effectively the trade-off. Deviation can reduce your reticle movement really drastically, all the way down to the point where your reticle just won't move at all, but that's not going to prevent you from being affected by your bowgun's physical recoil and kickback after every shot. On the other hand, the Recoil Suppressor Mod can also reduce the upward kick of your reticle, albeit nowhere near as well as Deviation, but it also comes with the benefits of reduced bowgun kickback, meaning you can potentially strafe while shooting depending on your ammo type, and also you have a slightly faster shot and better DPS. Take all that information into account if you happen to be a bowgun user looking to learn more about what your mods actually do. So there you have it. Hopefully those clips give you a better idea of what both Deviation and Recoil Suppressor mods actually do for your bowgun and how they're kind of different from one another. At the end of the day, like everything in this game, play around with it, use whatever feels best to you, which could be neither. If you're new here to my channel, then maybe consider dropping a like or clicking the sub button, because that very much does help me out with growing the channel. And if you really want to be an insane person, you can go the extra mile by either clicking the tiny little gray bell or by going out of your way to follow me on Twitch. Anyway, thank you for watching, hope you learned something, and I'll see you next time.